Imagine this. A kid on a snowy porch in Stratford, Canada. Just 12 years old. His fingers numb, strumming an old guitar, singing to no one. No stage, no screaming fans, no lights. Just silence. And yet, that silence would soon explode into noise so loud it nearly destroyed him. Because that boy would become Justin Bieber, the most adored and most hated teen star on Earth. But here's the thing nobody saw coming. The rise was meteoric. The crash, even harder. And the comeback? Well, it might be his greatest chapter yet. Stratford, Ontario. Population, barely 30,000. Justin was raised by his single mom, Patty Millette. Money was tight. His dad, Jeremy, wasn't always around. Music was his escape. He taught himself drums, piano, guitar. And by 12, he was covering Stevie Wonder and Neo in local talent shows. But what made Justin different wasn't just the voice. It was the way he looked into the camera, like he was singing only to you. So Patty did something small, but world-changing. She uploaded those videos to a brand new site called YouTube. Now, what are the odds? A talent manager named Scooter Braun is scrolling late one night and stumbles across this kid with the swoopy hair and angelic voice. Within months, Justin's flown to Atlanta, meeting Usher, signing a record deal. At 15, he's releasing One Time. At 16, the album My World 2.0. And suddenly, the world has Bieber Fever. But fame is never free, because what the cameras didn't catch was the ticking bomb underneath. And when it finally went off, the world didn't just turn on him, they tried to erase him. By 2011, Justin Bieber had the world at his feet. The floppy-haired Canadian kid had transformed into the planet's biggest teen idol. Never Say Never packed theaters. His songs dominated the radio. Fans camped outside hotels, airports, even his house just to get a glimpse. But here's the cruel truth about fame at that level. It doesn't just elevate you. It consumes you. Imagine being 16 and chased through malls by hundreds of screaming girls. Imagine cameras pointed at you every second you step outside. Imagine being told you're a role model while still a kid figuring out who you are. At first, Justin handled it with a smile, but the pressure was relentless, and soon the cracks began to show. Justin adopts a pet monkey named Mally, brings it on tour, and German authorities confiscate it at the airport. Overnight, headlines explode. Bieber abandons monkey. The world laughs. Miami, a yellow Lamborghini. 4 a.m., police lights in the rearview mirror. Justin is arrested for drag racing while under the influence. The mugshot goes viral. The once sweet teen idol now branded a criminal. That same year, caught on tape urinating in a mop bucket backstage, laughing, swearing at a portrait of Bill Clinton. Then Argentina, where he storms off stage mid-concert, leaving fans heartbroken and furious. The internet turned on him. Memes mocked his downfall. Late-night hosts roasted him nightly. And the Bieber fever that once fueled his empire mutated into public disgust. But here's what the headlines didn't say. Behind the tantrums and scandals was a kid spiraling. Justin later admitted, "I was 18 with no skills in the real world, with millions of dollars and access to whatever I wanted, and I was doing things that were really self-destructive." He was drowning, and no one, manager, security, fans, could pull him out. The more he rebelled, the harsher the backlash. And the harsher the backlash, the deeper he sank. Yet buried inside that chaos was a turning point. Because in those darkest moments, Justin crossed paths with someone who would one day become his anchor. Her name was Hailey Baldwin. By 2017, Justin Bieber had hit a wall. The boy who once lived for the stage walked away. Halfway through his Purpose World Tour, one of the biggest in the world, he canceled the remaining shows. No warning, no farewell, just silence. Fans were devastated. The media mocked him. Commentators sneered, Bieber can't handle the pressure. Too spoiled to finish what he started. But the truth, Justin wasn't quitting. He was collapsing. Years of scandals, sleepless nights, addiction battles, and depression had hollowed him out. And for the first time in his career, he chose survival over spectacle. Then came 2020. On YouTube, a brand new docuseries appeared, Justin Bieber, Seasons. And this wasn't the glossy Bieber the world was used to. This was different. Raw. Messy. Human. Cameras followed him everywhere. We saw IV bags hooked into his arms, fighting Lyme disease. We saw him in therapy, admitting to years of drug use and emotional breakdowns. We saw a husband, newly married to Hailey, confessing how hard it was to be a partner when he didn't even love himself yet. It was shocking. Not because he was weak, but because he finally showed us that beneath the fame, he was just a man in pain. The reaction? Fans cried. Critics softened. Even former haters admitted, this is the real Justin.
For the first time since his rise, the world didn't see a spoiled superstar. They saw a survivor. And while Seasons didn't erase his past, it did something more powerful. It opened the door for forgiveness. But just as he began piecing his life back together, another blow came. This time not from fans, not from tabloids, from his own body. June 2022, a shaky video appears on Justin Bieber's Instagram. No music, no edits, just him, sitting in front of a camera. Half his face isn't moving. One eye refuses to blink. His smile, gone. He explains quietly, I have this syndrome called Ramsay-Hunt, and it's caused paralysis on one side of my face. For millions of fans watching, it was terrifying. The kid they'd seen dancing, running, performing for over a decade, suddenly couldn't even close his own eye. Within days, the Justice World Tour was canceled. Venues refunded tickets, doctors ordered rest, and Justin was left in the one place he always struggled to be: still. For him, it wasn't just physical pain, it was psychological warfare. Who was he without the stage, without the crowds, without the voice that made him famous? For years, fame had been his prison. Now, illness was his new cage. But here's the twist. This time, instead of spiraling into drugs, anger, or rebellion, Justin searched. He leaned harder on Hailey, who became his nurse, his anchor, his constant. He turned to faith, saying, God is with me in this storm. And slowly, he began to heal. The paralysis didn't just force him to pause, it forced him to rethink everything: music, marriage, life. And out of that silence, something new was born. Not just recovery, but reinvention. Because what came next would shock fans even more than his illness. 2 albums that revealed the deepest parts of his heart. After years of silence, Justin Bieber returned, not just with 1 album, but 2. The first, Swag. And it wasn't what anyone expected. Gone were the bubblegum pop hooks of Baby. Gone were the polished love anthems of Purpose. Instead, Swag was confessional, heavy, almost uncomfortable. Song after song revealed cracks in his marriage to Hailey. Lines about late-night fights. lyrics about walking away, even whispers of divorce. Fans didn't know how to process it. Was Justin's cry for help? Or was it a final goodbye to the relationship that had defined his adulthood? The media swarmed. Bieber marriage on the rocks. Is Hailey leaving? The speculation was endless. But then, just weeks later, Justin did something no one saw coming. He dropped Swag 2. And this one, it was pure love. Tender ballads for Hailey, promises of forever, and one song that stunned everyone. A lullaby for their newborn son, Jack. Fans who thought they were witnessing the end realized they were watching a rebirth. Because this wasn't just an album about music, it was an album about survival. About fighting through the ugliest storms of fame and marriage, and finding light on the other side. For the first time, Justin wasn't singing to the charts. He was singing to his wife, to his son, to himself. And in doing so, he showed the world something shocking. The boy the world once adored, mocked, and tore apart, finally found peace in silence. But here's the question that lingers. After all the chaos, all the pain, and all the redemption, is Justin Bieber truly healed? Or is this just the calm before another storm? So here we are, from a snowy porch in Stratford, Ontario, to YouTube covers filmed on a cheap webcam, to the dizzying heights of Bieber Fever. From arrests, scandals, and meltdowns, to illness, paralysis, and near collapse, and finally, to fatherhood, faith, and music that feels more like a diary than a chart-topping hit. Justin Bieber is no longer the kid the world once adored, mocked, and tore apart. He's not just a pop star, not just a headline, not even just a husband or a father. He's a man still writing his own story, in real time. Because the truth is this, we don't know where Justin's journey ends, not him, not us. Will he retreat fully into family life, leaving fame behind forever? Or will he reinvent himself yet again, emerging with another era that surprises us all? For now, what we know is this: the boy the world tried to destroy is still here, still creating, still fighting, still searching. And maybe that's what makes Justin Bieber's story so powerful. It isn't finished. And maybe neither is he.